wanted to provide a quick update on what I'm seeing out in the field after the freeze occurred. These three bolls were pulled yesterday in Haywood County. All three showed severe injury of freeze damage. You can very clearly see that if you look at this position here. Boll wall has been severely damaged. This position right out of the top of the canopy, extremely moist. Seed, after if you were to crack this and peel back and look at the seed, you would have noticed you can almost see the seed through the seed cotton. That's how much moisture was contained. These are the positions that if you go out there now and squeeze them, a lot of times they'll bust and squirt water out. And they're going to be the ones that are generating that rotten smell. The middle position that we've got here, this was a little bit lower in the canopy. This would have been the very top. This would have been 2 or 3 nodes down from the top of the canopy. Not quite mature. It still had a little jelly within the seed. The fiber was definitely more developed. The boll wall was definitely a little bit harder. This would have not had that really green glossy look to it that a lot of these uppermost and very immature positions would have. So, right in between, I definitely think that Ethifon would typically open these if we hadn't had a freeze, but it's questionable whether or not this position and positions like this would fluff naturally even without the freeze damage. This is the position I'm really most concerned about, and the position that I really am hopeful that we can get. This would have been about 4 or 5 nodes down from the top of the plant. Still has signs of severe freeze injury on the side of the boll. We've got some of that discoloration that is not natural. Definitely representative of what you would see in a freeze damage situation. This position was mature. It was not yet open, but it was mature. If you peel positions back like this one, you would have found seed coat color, no jelly within the seed at all. Fibers mature. Moisture content of the lock is relatively low, especially when compared to this middle position, or definitely the more immature positions. The reason I'm showing this today, all 3 of these positions yesterday when I harvested them, pulled them out of the top of the canopy, all 3 of them would have been closed and would have been more closed than even this one here. Sutures were formed, but they were not open. So you could have barely put a knife blade between the sutures on all 3 of these. Pulled them yesterday, put them in my dashboard, and they've been sitting in the sun this morning. Right now it's about 11 o'clock, and you can already see that this position is not only cracked, the lint is beginning to fluff, and I'm very hopeful that it will continue to fluff over the coming days. We're also going to see these burrs continue to dry down. We talk about a lot about suture formation. That's the formation of the suture that you can see even in this juvenile boll. The formation of that suture is a physiological process, but after that occurs, the drying down of the burr is not. It's really driven by the cellular structures that are present within that burr. It's going to continue to peel back, to fold in on itself, much like this one has done. This position is likely not going to be harvestable just because of how immature the lint was inside each of those locks. This one, I'm right on the fence. Maybe it goes ahead and fluffs, allows us to harvest it with a spindle picker. Maybe not, but I'm extremely happy that the positions like this that were severely injured by the freeze, they look like they are going to continue to open, to fluff. That burr should peel back. So the situation that we're seeing in a lot of these fields, we've got a lot of bolls that are just like this. They're mature, they're just not yet open. I'm fairly confident we're going to get those bolls out of the field. The more immature bolls that look, we likely they probably flowered in very late August, if not into September. These are going to be positions that are difficult to harvest even in a normal year. So may lose these positions. Very happy that I expect now that we're going to be able to harvest these mature bolls even with the freeze that moves through. It's just going to be a waiting game. So there's a brief update on what I've seen up to this point.